Right, so I'm just here today to present to you all the benefits of juicing 101. It's going to be informative. I'm glad everybody who has decided to come view this webinar is here, or if not, will be here very soon. So I'm just going to wait a little bit longer to see if we can get some more people in the room. But I do want to start by showing you the disclaimer, just so there's no liability. Sound like I'm going to lose my medical license, but I do want everybody to know that you should be taking this all in with a grain of salt. Do your own research, of course. I've provided a link at the end that is chock full of a lot of information if you want to look into it yourself. A lot of the knowledge that I've accumulated over the years has come from many sources that it would take way too long for me to cite all of that for you, but I will have a Q&A open at the end. So let's get started. First of all, the topics of discussion. First, we're going to talk about hydration, its importance in your health, and how juicing can benefit you in hydration, how juicing can benefit you in nutrition, and then lastly, enzymes, something a lot of us are still in the dark about. So, benefits of juicing, it's for everyone, including babies and aunties and athletes, whether you're a ball player, a golfer, a race car driver, you can benefit from juicing. The elderly, everyone can benefit from incorporating juicing into their lifestyle. Meat eaters, omnivores, vegans, highly recommend it. One of the best times to incorporate juicing is in the morning on an empty stomach. Before you go and toss a bunch of Fritos and peanut butter and whatever other goodies you like to eat into your body, first you can love your body and say, thanks for waking up this morning, body. Here's a juice packed full of nutrients. So now that we know that it's for everybody, what does everybody need? I mean, we know we need sunlight, but we also need hydration. Hydration is so vital to your health. Every one of your cells in your body, which is upwards of, some people say 75 trillion, 150 trillion, which is double that. It doesn't matter. You have a lot of cells, and all of them need water, just like you. Just like you go to the restroom, your cells have waste as well. And that waste needs to be flushed out with ionized water. Now, I don't want to get all wrapped up in what ionization is and all that stuff, but if you're into chemistry, you know what I'm talking about. So, hydration. Are we getting enough hydration? I mean, the doc says I should drink 8 ounces is a cup, and I should drink 8 of those a day. I mean, I do, but I still feel a little dehydrated. I can feel it on my lips even. What's going on? I mean, I had the same issue until I started juicing. So juicing is going to definitely give you a form of hydration that is extremely absorbable. It's going to have those ions and all that good stuff. But what you really need to know is that your tap water and your bottled water are not going to provide what you need. So, have you ever drank your tap water and felt thirsty? You could chug a whole glass of tap water or Spring Hills or what other kind of bottled water you like and still feel parched. And I can go into why that is and the acidity and the pH of those waters, but I really just want to tell you about the benefits of juicing. So, whenever we juice, we're having charged water. So that goes back to the ions, the whole charge thing. But it's also structured for your biology. It's structured by nature. So nature, in all of its beauty and wonder, has made your water perfectly structured on a molecular level, on an atomic scale, for your body to identify it and absorb it, and then therefore assimilate it and use it as it needs. But a lot of us don't drink any kind of water like that. So this is a picture of some blood cells. We have on the left fully hydrated blood cells, and then on the right dehydrated blood cells. And most of us are familiar with how blood, it nourishes the other cells. It's like the kitchen. It brings all the good food to the body. But a lot of us don't know about the lymphatic system, which runs along the blood system and all the arteries and veins and cleans the blood. So we definitely need to have hydration so that the blood cells can be doing their thing, but also so that the lymphatic system can be cleaning the blood. So on the left, it clearly says hydrated blood is alkaline and easily carries plenty of oxygen. Whereas dehydrated blood, those cells struggle to carry enough oxygen to nourish other cells in the body. Well, since we're talking about it, we have a discussion about alkalinity in the body. Yes, your stomach is going to be a certain pH and it needs to be that way. And your body knows that, especially if you're drinking natural charged water from juices. It's easily identified. And that's all right. But if you want to have the best alkalinity and best cells in your body, you definitely want to incorporate juices for a host of reasons. Not only because it's easily absorbed and you don't have to separate it from the fiber, not only because it's all natural and organic, especially if you're getting your juices from a reputable source, but because it's the way nature intended. And the more that we come in line with nature, the less pain and suffering we will have to endure. So not only is it going to hydrate your cells, but look at all this fruit. I mean, think about having to eat all this. My jaw hurts just thinking about chewing all these apples. But I can load these apples into a juicer. It doesn't matter which kind of juicer. It just matters that I have a juicer and I'm getting my juice in a good way. Of course, there are better juicers and there are, inferior juices that are not as good. But it just helps to have one because I can't chew all these apples and get them in my body efficiently. But the juicer can definitely aid. So we get a juicer, any kind, and we pack all these apples in there. It creates tons of juice, tons of hydration, and nutrition. Nutrition, nutrition, nutrition. Look at all this nutrition. I mean, I'm stoked at the idea of packing all that vitamin C, all of that vitamin A, all of the good stuff that my cells are going to thank me for giving them, packing all of that into a quaint little 8-ounce cup or whatever size I want and just sipping on it, chugging it, getting a swirly straw and just enjoying nourishing my cells. So that's one of the benefits of juicing. We can pack a whole ton of produce into one powerful punch. Fruit punch, I guess. So next we have the all-encompassing enzyme. Enzyme, let me explain. The definition is a substance produced by a living organism, which acts as a catalyst to bring about a specific biochemical reaction. And all that jargon basically just means you use enzymes to do almost everything. Your body has so many different enzymes to make so many different biochemical reactions in the body. So, what are we doing with juicing and enzymes? Well, we're packing all of this fruit, this living fruit, which is rich with enzymes, all natural enzymes that our bodies are able to store. We're packing that into our systems. Now, when we're born and we're babies, we're full of enzymes. We're ready to go. But as we age, we lose our natural enzymes that we have in our body. And we should be refueling, we should be reloading our enzymes throughout life. But based on most people's eating habits, with the cooked foods, the meat, the dead foods, even beans and grains and starches like that are considered dead foods and are very actually going to deplete your body of whatever enzyme stores it has left. So we get a juice. We have so many fruits in this one juice, full of enzymes, and we are able to use those enzymes to digest that meal, which is just an easily digested juice, and it's living already, so it's going to do its thing. But then we can also take all the additional enzymes that we didn't need to digest that meal and store them in the body for other uses, for uses later when maybe we have a little cheat day and we go out to Chick-fil-A and we indulge a little bit, or we just go to the Thai restaurant and enjoy a date with our loved one, whatever. But the enzymes are going to be there ready for you to use as you see fit, instead of eating something that's depleting you of those enzymes. So that is why I love my juices. Enzyme nutrition. So it clearly says here, food enzymes come from the raw foods we eat. Raw. We should not be cooking our foods too much. If you want to acidify the body and totally mess up the chemical makeup of the food, then maybe eat some raw food or some cooked food. My apologies. Or some dairy or meat or something like that. Or processed foods. Those things are very acid for the body. They have an acid ash, you could say. White breads are among one of the worst, clogging up the body and sticking inside the body. Whereas fruit juices and vegetable juices are washing the body, cleansing it and hydrating it and flushing it of all kinds of toxins. But here it says, food enzymes are vital helpers to pre-digest food. So you might have taken a tablet like Beano or some kind of digestive enzyme in your day, but it's not something that we want to be doing. We don't want to be taking in these synthetic and isolated enzymes, because the more we do that, the less our body will be making its own, and the glands and the actual pieces of our body that make the enzymes are going to wither away. They're going to atrophy and not do their job as well because they're not practicing. Just like when you wear your glasses all the time, your eyes weaken and you can't use them as much. Or when you sit on the couch all the time and you go outside to play football or basketball and you don't have it the same. It's because you haven't been using it. So we want to be careful about that. We want to get our enzymes from nature in a natural way, hence the juices. Fresh raw foods are capable of self-digestion with its self-contained enzymes. They already have them. They're ready to go. The cooking and processing of natural foods destroys all of its enzymes. So that's why whenever we say raw food is raw food until it's 118 degrees Fahrenheit. And it's because the enzymes are still intact. A lot of the produce is still there. But once you start getting too far past boiling, chemically, it's going to wreck everything. So we have enzymes, we have hydration, we have nutrition, we have everything in the juice. I mean, not only is it delicious, I mean, have you tried one of my juices? But it is full of life. I mean, I love myself, so I take care of myself. I love my family, so I need to be the best person I can be so that I can love them better and not be moody or sick or anything negative. And this juicing is going to be a huge supplement for anyone. I don't care if you have diabetes, type 1, type 2. I don't care if you are on your deathbed or you think you are. I think a lot of us have given up and we're on a downward spiral, especially if we start to incorporate more medical drugs, pharmaceutical drugs. A lot of those are really sending us down a path that we don't want to go biochemically. It's going to be acidifying to the body, very toxic. It's going to shut down your kidneys, which are vital. Kidneys are so vital to cleaning out metabolic waste. Like I was saying earlier, our cells, they drink and they pee and they poo. They are very much like us, and we are very much like them. But we need our kidneys to help clean all of that metabolic waste out of the body so it doesn't stay in the body, causing acidity, which is very corrosive and destroying different aspects of the body. It can destroy glands, it can break down organs, it can get into your brain. We see this in a lot of conditions, and a lot of basically every condition is a product of acidosis. And acidosis is just too much acidity in the body. And that comes from a lack of hydration and a lack of the kidneys and the glands and all the parts that we have inside of us doing their job. So, juicing. Do it first thing in the morning. Do it 30 minutes before a meal. Do it 30 minutes after a meal. You got to be careful about mixing different juices. Some things don't combine well. They don't, but some things combine great. And you can check out my Instagram page or my Facebook page and see some of the juices that I've created using proper food combining and organic, fresh ingredients. And I will be willing to get those out to you. We do deliver and we are available for pickup. So come and get some juices. It's not like I'm trying to sell juicing in that in that manner, but I do want to be a provider of this information and this wellness. And if you guys can get a juice from somewhere else, please do. But I'm here if you need me. And I take a lot of pride and care in the juices I make. I prepare them with a lot of love. But I'm also available for consults. So if you want to come by and get a juice and have a chat about health, we can do that. I'd love that. But acidosis, look into that. It's really important that you do. But for now, I want to open up the floor for any questions. Definitely want to see what you guys are thinking and if you have anything that you're concerned about. I know a lot of people have questions such as where am I going to get protein, or what about if I'm diabetic, or why don't we just eat the fruit? I've heard a lot of it. So here's a question. What about stevia? So stevia comes from a plant, Stevia is much more sweet than the actual sugarcane plant. Um, but it's natural, it's just where you source it from. My juices don't ever really need stevia because they are full of sweetness by themselves. Their fruit is sweet as water is wet. And fruit is what we are definitely designed to eat. I mean, if you look at your teeth, if you look at your digestive system, if you look at just knowledge, science as we know it, without being misled, just look straight at the truth, you'll find that fruit is supposed to be the base of our diet, raw fruit. So if you have pineapple, please don't cook it. Make sure it's ripe and enjoy it. Enjoy it with other foods that it combines well with. You wouldn't want to eat pineapple and a banana um, because one is sweet and one is acidic and they digest differently. So if you want to digest, absorb, and assimilate to the best of your ability, you might want to consider mono meals or juicing. Mono meals being just a bowl of watermelon or just a bowl of grapes. So that's one way to get to your health. But yeah, any more questions? Oh, how can I build muscle? Great question. I get that one a lot. So, like I said, people are concerned about protein when they think building muscles, and that is actually very wrong. Yes, protein is essential, but it's the amino acids that we need. So the amino acids are the little molecules that make up the proteins. Everything is made up of protein, including fruit. So fruit has protein. I mean, watermelon, avocado, spinach. I mean, Popeye knew about spinach. Carrots. You can take one large carrot, juice that down, it might give you an ounce or two of juice, and that has 1 gram of protein. Instead of drinking a protein shake with 20, 40, 60 grams of protein, which too much protein, especially in the wrong forms like whey, animal products, and stuff like that, are going to be extremely taxing on the kidneys. So you want to watch out for too much protein. That's actually going to shorten your lifespan. And don't just take my word for it. Look into this yourself. There's something called telomeres, and they're strands on the ends of your chromosomes. And yeah, those things shorten when we eat too much protein. But if you're going to be building muscle, it's going to be because you are training and programming the muscles to rebuild. I mean, a lot of us know about how you have to break down the muscle and then it comes back stronger. You break down the tissue and it comes back stronger. You can do that either through uh, time over or tension over time. So just doing a bunch of weighted squats or um, weighted planks where you don't even have to do reps. That's just tension over time. Or you can do lots of repetitions, do like Bruce Lee might do with his calisthenics, do 300 reps. Of course, that's going to program your body to adapt and grow. But if you really want to build muscle, most of us know it's the weight training. So you get heavy, heavy weights and you smartly do it. You do perfect form and all of that. But you're only going to need so much protein, and the juices can pack that in as a perfect pre workout drink or post workout. One of my favorite workout drinks is apple juice mixed with carrots. But I love pure apple juice. It gets me wired. I am so lit on apple juice, my mind and my body. So I would recommend that. But carrots have the protein you need. And along with spinach, that makes one of my favorite post-workout drinks. So I love to do a apple juice pre-workout and then a post-workout carrot spinach juice, half and half. It's chock full of all the protein you need, not too much, and in the right form. raw, and natural. Organic if you can. Any more questions? Do you normally just eat a banana? Hmm. I do eat bananas. Do you have to juice the fruit or can you just eat it? Ah, there we go. So you can do either. There are just lots of benefits to juicing it. So I can eat a watermelon. I can eat plenty of watermelon, but the rind of the watermelon, if it's organic, can be juiced. It has so much water in it. It even has chlorophyll in it. The green stuff, the lifeblood of plants. And that chlorophyll is very beneficial to the body and otherwise would be wasted. I would either throw it in the trash can or compost it if I'm more sustainable. But yeah, I like to be able to pack a whole bag of apples into a drink than just having two or three apples and feeling full and maybe even bloated. But if I drink a whole bag of apples, I am on fire before my workout, as opposed to bogged down and using all of my blood and energy for digestion and separating that fiber and the juice and all that stuff. Um, but if I just have it in the juice, it's readily available. I don't have to worry as much about digestion. 20, 30 minutes after I drink my juice, whether it's a small one or a big one, I'm pretty much good to go straight into a workout, whether it's HIIT or it's stretches or it's martial arts, whatever I want to do, I'm ready as opposed to being bloated from scarfing down my apples for a pre-workout. Let's see if we have any other questions. If it has sugar, no one can have tea. Okay. Come on, I know we have more questions. I have a question for you guys. I mean, is there anybody who has ever tried juicing? Have you ever felt the benefits for yourself? Do you know anybody who is an avid juicer and you've seen their life kind of transform? Have you researched this stuff for yourself at all? Do you own a juicer? Does anybody have a special juice request? I have so many great ones, um, so many different health benefits. Lemon juice is so powerful for getting rid of pathogens in the body. If you want to do some kind of like deworming kind of stuff, yeah, it's a lot of fun. I've been there. I've experienced a lot of detox, and I encourage you guys to try it for yourself. You'd be in for a treat. I guarantee it. So, we have a question. Is it better to juice during the day or is it still good at night? So I love to juice during the day because I do intermittent dry fasting when I can. And that just means that I'm not drinking anything. And that's not as hard as it sounds because I'm sleeping like 8 to 10 hours a night. So that's already 8, 10 hours that I'm not drinking. And I'm dry fasting. And it gives my kidneys and my bladder, but mainly my kidneys, the break that they need. If my kidneys are exhausted and run into the ground, they won't do their function, which is to help cleanse the lymphatic system and help to get rid of acidity and metabolic waste in my body. So I like to drink during the day and then give my body a rest in the night, maybe stop drinking around 7 p.m., but sometimes I'll drink after 7 p.m., but it just comes at a cost because then I'm waking up in the middle of the night and having to disturb my sleep to go to the restroom, which is not fun. I'd much rather be in a pleasant dream or slumber than waking up and having to pee out my watermelon juice. So, another question, does your juicer discard the pulp or does it make the juice like a smoothie texture? Brilliant question. Thank you. I always take my juice and push it through a fine strainer. So even if it did have some of the more residual pulp like left in it that the juicer didn't take out, didn't filter, screen out, then I get out the bulk of the pulp so that I have more energy and more hydration for other parts of my body. When we are dehydrated, our cells and our cells actually have to reallocate all of their resources. So if I'm dehydrated, my cells might not be getting, let me rephrase that. If I'm dehydrated, then my water is going to be allocated to my main organs and not used for detoxification, for deep cleansing, for other things. So the less fiber that I have in my body, which is soaking up some of that hydration, the better, because that means more pure hydration. And then that means I can get to the deeper cleansing. All of my vital organs and everything in my body will have the hydration that it needs and then some. And that then some is the vital stuff that we need to cleanse out all of the brake dust from the street, the pollutants in our homes, whether it's air fresheners or just, your boyfriend's fart or whatever. But it's just, we have a lot of toxins built up in the body. Sometimes it's stored in the brain and causes acidity and malfunctions in the brain, Alzheimer's or whatever, or it's stored in the bones, causes osteoporosis, or it's stored in the joints, things like gout. And the more hydration that we have and the less fiber, the more we can start to deal with those problems. So somebody missed what was the answer to juices versus eating the food itself. Same thing. If you have more fiber and more work to do, more energy, it's taxing. You have to use more energy to break down the food and absorb and assimilate the nutrients than if it's already ready in a liquid form. And you can condense a lot more produce into a juice instead of eating a bowl of carrots. Eating a bowl of carrots is hard after a workout, but drinking a carrot juice is so easy. I can chug a carrot juice after a hard workout. But I'm here for more questions. I was going to keep it to 7:30, but if you have any questions, please speak up now or forever hold your juice. I've heard that drinking celery juice will help with psoriasis. Okay, yeah, celery juice is great. And there's going to be a lot of people and people and blogs and just different articles that are going to claim it may help. It may, like Cheerios, it may lower cholesterol. It may help with heart disease. And a lot of this stuff is like, first of all, why are you using that kind of language? That's skeptical. Like, I'm skeptic of that already. But it's misleading, and they don't tell you about what you're really doing. When you're hydrating and you're getting all of these vital, necessary nutrients like oxygen, which you get from fruit and our food. We get sunlight energy from our food, and I don't want to get too deep into biophotons and all of that stuff, but we get carbon from our food. We get hydration, and that's not only a medium for all of the electricity that we conduct in our bodies and for all of the functions, like the reactions, the chemical reactions in our body, that water and that hydration but it's also cleansing the body. So whether it's celery juice, watermelon juice, orange juice, whatever, if it's ripe, it should be alkaline and it should be flushing the body and nourishing the body and helping in that respect, which is going to clean up your lymphatic system, which is going to also clean up the blood, which is going to clean up all of the tissues, and in turn, you are what you eat. You become a living byproduct of nature, which you are a part of. You are not separate from nature. You are just as much nature as any other creature living here. So, yeah, it's not just about the celery itself. Now, I will say celery juice has a natural sodium content to it, which is another electrolyte. As I was saying, it's a medium. Hydration itself is a medium for all the electrolysis, the electronic like processes in the body because we have electrolytes, and that's what sodium and magnesium and potassium, all those are. They are they're minerals that help us conduct electricity because our nervous system is based in electrical processes, I'll say. So do you juice before or after eating or both? I juice before and after eating because I drink more juice than I do eat food. I've just gotten to that point that I thrive on juice, and I will have like a midday meal or maybe an evening meal with like some avocados or guacamole because I love that, or like a salad. But I love to juice my greens. Like I don't really eat as much salad because uh, I can I can juice it so much more efficiently. Cellulose itself in vegetables is not broken down by humans. Even when you look at a cow, which eats grass all day and has way more protein requirements than we do, there's another hint that protein comes from plants, not from animals. If we're getting our protein from animals, we're getting it secondhand, and we have to break it back down into amino acids. But it's just cellulose is not broken down by humans. So I could chew it all day. My stomach could deal with it all day, but it won't be able to break down cellulose. Cellulose is going to just act as a broom cleaning out some of the debris left inside of my bowels, my GI tract. So it's good for that. But juices by themselves can help flush that stuff out. And there's still a little bit of fiber in juices. They're not completely void of fiber unless you take like a very, um, very fine cheesecloth and strain them. But yeah, how much do you charge for your juices? So most of my juices start at $7, which is uh, a lot cheaper than what I see in the stores and a lot fresher. I'll say. And some of the ones in the stores will be like $9 and upwards of $10 and not even be organic. And they'll be stored in plastic bottles, which I store mine in glass or BPA free plastic. And I try and make sure that they are affordable because it's not about the money, it's more about the people. So it starts at $7, but depending on which juice and which size you get, um, but $7 for a 16 ounce, and most people get it in a glass mason jar, so they get that on top of everything. And if you bring back the mason jar, I'll give you a discount. Oh man, that's great. Somebody's starting tomorrow. My good friend Diego, that's so good. Yeah, I want to hear about you guys. Like, please tell me your stories and how juicing is going to affect your life. Because people who start to implement like implement juicing, they're really going to be stoked. And a lot of people aren't going to understand what they're doing, but I will. I want to be able to support you on this journey. I'm here for you. And if you want to reach out to me for any doubts you might have, please do follow me on my health webpage or on my Instagram. I try and keep up with those and direct message people back as soon as possible. But I am here for your holistic health. It is not just about this physical, it is about your spiritual, emotional, mental. They are all tied together, all tied together. And for us all to raise up in consciousness and become better versions of ourselves collectively, even, it's going to be really helpful to start with eating organic juices, cleansing our body of these acids, and getting our bodies functioning as they should, getting back in tune with nature and our diet. So I'm here to support that fully. You guys reach out to me. Please let me know how it's going. I love myself too. I love you too. You are a reflection of me, and every time I look at you guys, like I am just so happy that you guys are who you are. You're unique, and that's what makes you beautiful. You are so beautiful, and don't let anybody ever tell you otherwise. And the more that you start to get your health right, the more you love yourself in that way, the more your DNA will express itself fully, and you will be able to see yourself in a whole new way. Your hair will change, your eyes will change, your skin will change, the way you think will change. You will not be constipated anymore, so you'll have plenty more time off the toilet. Like you will be a whole new you, whole new you. So if there's not any more questions, we'll just have to wait for our next webinar. Thank you so, so much, everybody who's been involved with this process from the beginning to now. I am so appreciative. You guys are amazing. Angels, for sure. Really appreciate the love. But yeah, follow me on Instagram if you're not already. And that's just Cameron San, Cameron_San on IG. And that just means Mr. Cameron in Japanese. I don't think I missed any questions. All right, guys. Until next time, I love you too. Peace and love, reflections.